Hello out there.
Hi,
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Good, 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 good. We've been having a little technical difficulty, but hopefully we're all set. All right, so we got a small group today. I was hoping you guys would just use the one from last week because the recurring, Zoom link. Is that what you guys did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool, cool. Okay. Let's see here. All right, perfect. So I'm going to spotlight myself.
There was someone on Facebook asking if it was the same link.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it's recurring, and
Yeah.
I said that last time. Yeah, sorry. I
Yeah.
actually was in another program online doing a sound bath right before this, so I haven't had a chance to look at anything on social media yet. Hopefully they find their way because I've sent it several times. All right, well, thank you, Miss Sherry. She hears me. Thank you. Okay. All right, there's so much to this whole thing that I'm about to share with you. Do you have your ball? I hope you do.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Okay. So I'm going to show you here. I have two balls. This is the one, if you see me around Kripalu, Mary sees me. This is the one that I use a lot at work. And if I bring it back like that, you see how this one with the paint is bigger? So both of them I use for different reasons. Like I like the bigger one for the chair part, but both of them work. Can I see your balls? Can you lift them up? Okay, Mary, yours look okay there. Oh, Linda, that one looks kind of little. That's a little ball. Can you sit on that, Linda? Oh, yeah, well, okay. So the thing is about these companies that sell these balls, they might say this is a 55 centimeter, and then another company will say that's a 65 centimeter. Typically for a person maybe 5, 6 and below uses a 55 centimeter. So if it, hey, we have what we have, and you can always adjust it later, add more air. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna have the chat. I'm gonna keep my eyes on the chat. So if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll check, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna come down to the floor with the ball, okay? So I'm gonna adjust here. And so what I do when I come to the floor, as I start here, I put my hands here to support me and I just come down. And then we're just gonna sit our hips back to our heels and just take your hands, place them on top of the ball, and just start to feel the ball beneath your hands. So if any time it gets too uncomfortable for your knees or for your hips, you can just lift up. But for now, we're just going to start to get to know the ball. So you're just going to push the ball forward with your hands. So the physio ball is actually built for the rehabilitation of the spine. Many people think that it's for push-ups and sit-ups, which is awesome, to do planks and things like that, which we can do. But really, it begins to allow you to feel supported. So as I'm rolling through the wrist and the arm, I'm feeling the support of the ball. And I'm starting to move out into child's pose, right? So as you start to go along, you can start to push out a little bit further. Now it's up to you how wide you want your knees. I always prefer a little wider knee position so that the abdomen can relax and it just feels better for my special knees. So you're just going to keep doing this. Let your head release at some juncture and then slowly come up. And then just start to feel like you're coming into an extension. So if you can see that as I come forward, as I push into the ball, I'm lifting the heart. So this helps the extension of the spine. And then as you round or flex the spine, you tuck your chin. So there's this beautiful wave-like motion coming through the spine. This is for resetting the spine and lubricating it. So we'll do several more. You could take one of these moves and do them for, quite a long period of time. So let's start to see if we can inhale through the nostrils as you come forward and then exhale through the open mouth as you come back. Inhale, extend, and then exhale, giving us that release through the spine a little bit more, a deeper release. Good. Inhale, extend, And then exhale, rounding. And then from here, we're just going to move out into a full child's pose. So the hands could be placed about, shoulders width apart. So you can even bring your hands towards the sides of the ball. And if you can, let your weight of head release towards the floor. And now I'm going to invite you to play with this movement. So if you can see what I'm doing here, I'm actually rotating at the trunk. So rotating to the left, looking under the left arm, rotating to the right, looking under the right arm. And there's all these wonderful movements happening, right? The hips are rocking and rolling a little bit. We're getting more mobility in our spine. And we've lifted the floor. So the hands aren't on the floor, but the ball gives us so much more, range of motion, more ability to move and expand. And then come to the center and just kind of pause here. I'm going to slide the shoulders towards the waist. Take a couple or maybe even 3 or 4 deeper breaths here. Inhale, and then on exhale. Good. And while you're doing that, I'm going to try to put the music back on. Yeah, just keep breathing. You can always pause out there too. Take deeper breaths. Beautiful. And then from here, rounding the spine, we're going to come up onto the high knees. You're going to come up to the high knees and we're going to bring the ball right in touch with our front body. So it could be touching the pelvic, maybe a little bit of the abdomen. And all we're going to do, this is one of my favorite things, is just roll over the ball. Now, hopefully these microphones I won't talk too much once I'm here, but just let yourself completely roll. If you can, let your chin drop down, let your head relax. I'm going to take a peek at you all. That looks beautiful. So this is sort of like a restorative position. Beautiful. And see if you can breathe into the back of your rib cage. And I love what you're doing, Christy. Yeah, you can start to rock and roll a little bit. Really start to feel the trust of the ball. So this is almost like giving yourself a big giant hug, but there's so much more happening. We're opening up our digestive system, right? By breathing the belly into the ball, breathing into your back body. See if you can take a nice deep breath in and then a nice sigh to release a little deeper. Nice sigh, a moan, a groan, anything like that, just to further invite heaviness, weight into your ball. So from here, I'm going to invite you to walk your hands in front of the ball. Just place your hands right onto the floor and lift your knees and keep your toes tucked under. I'm going to use my hands to push into the floor and I'm just going to roll the toes and the feet. So just rolling up to the toes and pressing through the heels of your feet. So we're looking for springiness in our body, and that's what the ball really gives us that opportunity to do as well, stretching connective tissue. So now I'm going to step my feet about as wide as the mat, maybe even a little wider, and the hands as well. And we're just going to circle. We're going to pass our body's weight from left hand to right hand, right foot to left foot. The head is relaxed. You can look straight down once you get the hang of it, and just feel the belly being massaged. But what we're doing in the front of the body is helping to open up the back of the body. So this is really good for any of us that have lower back issues, tightness, or just some restrictions in that lower back. This is making space. And then go the other direction. So shifting your weight from right hand to left hand, left foot to right foot. And then from here, untucking your toes, bend your elbows, and again, just drape your torso right over the ball. Just completely let go again. Beautiful. Breathe in, and as you exhale, feel your body relaxing. Yeah, and decide what feels right for your neck, what position. And then from here, slowly lift your torso and take a few more rolls through the toes and the feet, just rolling forward and back. And then we're going to do a little warm up for the hip joints and for the legs. Align your hands beneath your shoulders. Inhale, and on exhale, lift your legs. Lift your legs right off the floor. And start to point your toes and just imagine going for a little swim. So I'm going to keep my hands really active. The arms are extended, the shoulders are reaching back. And I'm going to start with just pointing the toes, inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through the open mouth, inhaling through the nostrils, exhaling through the open mouth. Now the next time we exhale, we're going to just change the foot position. So inhale through your nostrils, and then on your exhale, flex your heels. Inhale, point your toes, flex the heels, exhale. Let's just do a couple more. You can go as high as you want to with these leg extensions, or small. Exhale, flex the heels, and then hold the feet flexed. Bend at your knees and extend the legs. So bringing some energy into the knees here, but also the quadriceps and the hamstring, just flexing the feet. And then lower the toes all the way back down. Bring your knees down, untuck the toes, and again, fold over the ball. Completely surrender. Feel the broadness against the back again. Feel your full contact with the front of your body against the ball. Deep breaths in and out. And then gazing forward, bring your hands back down in front of you, spread the weight out. So the hands are about shoulders width apart. We're going to come into downward facing dog. So I'm going to roll forward so that the weight comes into the hands, tuck the toes, and the chest is going to push the ball towards the upper thighs. So you can kind of work with this a little bit. Move your body weight forward and then back. And as the tailbone extends up, take the front of your chest and push it into the ball. Allow the weight of your head to completely release here. Take a couple deep breaths. Notice the difference in this position. So with the ball, we have all this contact with the front line of our body so that we can actually access the back of the body. So take your tailbone and just play a little game. Just turn the tailbone towards the ball and then reach it gently up towards the sky, just to mobilize that sacral area a little bit more. And then let's walk our feet closer together. Stretch your left leg straight up to the sky into three-legged dog. So there's less effort here, hopefully, because you're pushing the weight into the hands, but also, again, the chest to the ball. Bend and extend your left knee a couple times. Head is hanging low. And then just place your left foot back down. Bring the weight into the left foot. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, float your right leg up, three-legged dog. Head is, again, relaxed off of that neck. And then bend and extend at that right knee a couple times. And then just simply lower the right foot down. And then I come forward and then push all the way back. We're going to come back into child's pose. So bring your hands to the front of the ball and come back into child's pose. Extending and lengthening your arms all the way forward. You can even do this little rocking and rolling again from side to side, left to right. And then as you come over to the right, extend your arms over to the right. You're going to feel a nice stretch on the left side of your torso under the arm and the ribs. You can even look underneath your left arm for a moment. And then maybe look down. And then just walk your ball over to the other side. Reaching long. And then exhale, fold towards the thigh bone. Feel that inner right side of the body opening, stretching. So think about the hands, if they were on the floor, it's wonderful, but you have this ability here with the ball to make even more little adjustments, little circles, little pulses, little reaches. And then slowly walk your ball back into the center. And then again, we're going to round the spine all the way towards, we're going to bring the ball all the way towards us as we come all the way up through the spine. And let's just rest our hands here on the top of the ball, relax the shoulders, and just take a moment to breathe. Deep, deep breaths. And then we're going to lean into the ball, trust your ball. And then bring your hands to your lower back. I'm going to tuck the toes under, lengthen the legs, and pull the interlaced hands right to the tailbone. So from here, all kinds of fun things can happen. We can lower the torso towards the ball and then lift the torso and open up through the shoulders like there's someone behind you and they've got their hands on the front of your shoulders and they're guiding the shoulders back. And then again, we're gonna bend the knees this time. Let yourself melt into the ball. Take a deep breath. Push away from your toes, lengthen your legs, slide the hands closer to your tailbone. Beautiful. We're going to do this twice more. Inhale, bend, let everything descend and sink into the ball. And then exhale, everything opens up into this beautiful supported back bend. One more time. Inhale, let your whole body fold over the ball. And then exhale, lift. Now from here, I'm going to release the arms, take the right hand directly beneath its shoulder. I'm going to take my left hand to the ball, and I'm going to rotate until the inside of the left foot presses and the outside of the right foot. And so my right hand is right under that shoulder. We're just going to take our left arm up and over, nice big reach over towards that right hand. Beautiful. And then I'm going to spin my upper chest up towards the sky. Inhale. And then exhale, I'm going to round all the way down towards the ball. And then inhale, begin to open and expand. Beautiful. That looks wonderful. Deep breath. Big exhale as we curl and round over the ball. And then again, inhale, reach up. This time, if you can, bend your elbow and bring your hand to your lower back and just push away from your right hand. Gently draw your left shoulder closer to the spine towards the ball. Nice deep breath here. And then take your left arm into a big circle behind you. And then we're going to turn towards the ball and we're just going to take a little rest before we do the other side. So just fold over the ball. Every time we come back here, we just let go a little bit more. We're getting to know the ball, know that it's underneath us, that it's supporting us, that we can really let go of a lot of our weight into the ball. I've yet to see one pop, so that's good. Then from here, go ahead and bring your hands back behind you, tuck your toes under, lengthen your legs and bring your hands back to your tailbone, open up heart, chest, and lungs here. And then bring your left hand beneath its shoulder. We're going to be turning to the right. So the outside of that left foot presses, the inside of the right foot presses, and then the right arm extends up and over the head towards the left hand. So this is like a modified side plank pose with lots of support. And then from here, I'm going to round over the ball, let that right hand come down towards the floor. And then as we exhale, we're going to lift it back up and open up the upper right side of the chest, the front of the right shoulder. And then again, rounding the spine, arcing that right shoulder, top of right chest towards the ball. Inhale. Exhale. The ball's sort of hopefully rolling along with your trunk there on that left side. So it's still in contact. Not a lot of pressure on your left wrist, hopefully, because most of the body's weight is in the ball. Last time, bring that right arm open, expose the upper right side of the chest, and just let this right arm take that big circle around toward the back of the mat, and hand comes to the floor, and we'll square everything out. Let's open our feet and feet and hands again and just make a few circles. Few circles around the belly in one direction. Hopefully the sound of the ball doesn't sound too loud, because I have been told that these microphones that we have here are very sensitive, so hope it's not too much. And then from here, what we're gonna do is keep our toes tucked under, and we're gonna lift the ball and just take a moment here. Draw the knees closer together. You can tuck your chin towards your chest, your forehead towards the ball. Take a deep breath or two. And then place the ball back down in front of you. Bring your hands or fingertips to the floor. Now we're gonna roll forward to come to standing, and watch what I do. I'm just gonna walk my hands and the ball back towards the body. Now, the ball is touching my shin bones. I'm gonna wrap my arms and chest around the ball. I'm gonna take a little tiny bend in the knees. I'm just gonna hang out here. It's another one of my favorite things to do on the ball, because while all of this weight of our torso is on the ball, we're giving this back line of the legs lots of opportunity and support to let go. I'm gonna come and peek on you. Beautiful, beautiful. This is where if the ball is too small, you know, it won't feel as good as a ball that kind of meets you when you fold over. So hopefully everybody feels okay there. Now from here, bring your hands to the front of the ball. Push it forward, bend your knees, push that ball all the way forward. We're gonna do some squatting. So with the hands on the top of the ball, I'm gonna bend and come into my range of motion for my joints. So the hips drop down. I love doing squats with the ball because, again, the hands don't have to be all the way on the floor. And then watch the ball can come towards your knees. And then as you lengthen your legs, you can push the ball forward. Get all that beautiful extension through the spine. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, lengthening the legs, reaching long through the arms. Let's do a couple more. Deep breath in, exhale. And then once we're in this modified forward fold, let's just hang out here for another breath. Let your head's weight release all the way towards the floor. Draw the shoulder blades towards the spine. Draw the shoulders towards the waist. Kind of setting things up here in an aligned way to open up the whole back body. And then from here, rounding the spine, pull your belly button deep towards that lower back. Tuck your chin, and we're just going to come all the way up to standing. Walk your ball or roll it all the way to your shins. Now, once it's on your shins, slowly unfurl the spine. Super slow. I'm still using the ball. I know I've left the screen a little bit. And then just lift your shoulders up, back, and around, and let your arms fall to the sides. So the ball is still in contact with your shins. Beautiful. And then bring your hands to the top of the ball. Now we're going to do a little balance. I'm going to turn to the side again. So what I recommend is look down at your ball, and you see the lines on the ball. Most of them have lines. If that yours doesn't, then don't worry about it. But if there are lines, make sure that they're vertical, because when your eyes look down, it just helps you to balance a little bit easier. So my hands, imagine this is a yoga mat, okay? It sort of looks like the material of a yoga mat, right? So hands are wide. We don't want to put, like, look at my body here. I'm putting all the pressure in my heel of hand. I don't want to do that. I want to lift, right? I don't want to press. I want to lift and then pull the shoulders back. Now we're just going to slide the left leg back super slow. And then we're going to come up to the big toe. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, float your left leg hip level. Woo! Bring the shoulders back. We can bend and extend at the knee a couple times. And then we're going to hold the leg bent. I'm going to bend my right knee, pull the ball towards me. I'm going to take my left hand to my left shin and step the foot on top of the ball. Woo! Did we all get that? So the whole foot is on the ball. I'm actually touching the ball to my right shin bone, because if it's out here, I have less support, right? So I have it touching. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hinge over the left leg. Take as much time as you need. You are on a ball, so you are going to rock and roll, and sometimes you just completely come off of it. It's okay. And we're just going to stretch the left leg long and then bend it. And then stretch it and bend it. And then this time extend and just hinge all the way over that leg. There's no goal here, so you're just letting your body fold over that left leg. Bring your shoulders towards your waist, tuck the chin to keep a neutral neck position. Take a deep breath or two. And then from here, I'm gonna bend my left knee, and watch what I do, everybody. I'm gonna take my foot and leg over the ball, and I'm gonna land into the left foot. I'm gonna come into like a lunging position. But when I'm in this lunging position, hold on 1 second. Sorry, Spotify has added songs to my playlist, which I'm very unhappy about. Okay, so once you're there, which you all are, there's so many wonderful things. Now, when we're in standing poses, right, there's all this efforting, right? When the ball is beneath you, you can let your pelvic release. So there can be that sense of letting go. My left foot is pressing underneath the knee. I see a wagging tail. And then inhale, let your arms rise up with a big sun breath. Exhale, just let them lower. So using the sun breath to find extension through the spine and connection to your breathing. Let's do this twice more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale, reach. And then as you exhale, bring your hands all the way down to the floor. You could also have blocks beneath your hands, but they're going to come on either side of your left foot. Now from here, I'm going to lengthen the left leg, walk the right foot in, and just fold over that front leg. Now the back of the left leg is being filled in by the ball, so hopefully this gives you that opportunity to sink your abdomen towards that thigh bone a little bit easier. Release the spine over the front leg. Feel the beautiful hamstring stretch here. Deeply breathe. Walking your right hand into the instep of the left foot. It could be on a block, and you can also make a fist with your right hand to get a little more extension and lift. We're just going to turn to the left very slowly. Just going to turn to the left and maybe let your left arm rise up towards the sky. Keep pulling your left hip towards your right. Beautiful. Nice deep breath. And then exhale, just bring your left hand slowly back down to the floor. Now we're going to put both hands to the inside of our left foot. Turn your right foot in 45 degrees, reach your right arm forward. We're going to come right into warrior two. I'm going to windmill the right arm forward, and then I'm going to sink into the ball. And you can lift and lower, can stretch that left leg and then bend it. Just kind of play around with how much more we can release our pelvic floor here in the inner adductors. And then release your arms out into a nice wide position, drop the shoulders. Just do a light round of fire breath just to make sure our core is involved here. Take a deep breath in and do a little round of fire breath. So that's the nostril breath. Exhale and then deeply breathe in. And then we're just going to lay the left forearm on the mid-left thigh, coming into lateral side angle. Take your right arm by the ear, but then let's circle our right arm. Hand goes to the front of the yoga mat space and all the way back. Maybe even watch the direction that the arm and hand is traveling. So from the front and then all the way to the back. And then find your lateral side angle. The arm could be by the ear, hand could be on the hip, arm could be wrapped around the lower back towards the left hip. And I like that position sometimes because that gets us that shoulder release here as I draw the shoulder towards the spine. Deep breaths. Inhale, the body lifts off the ball. Exhale, the body drops into the ball. And then from here, lift back up, lift your torso back up. I'm going to heel toe my back foot in towards the left foot and lengthen the left leg for triangle pose. So bring your arms up parallel to the ground, extend over that front leg, and just let your hand drop where it naturally might want to. You could even put the hand on the ball. You could bring it to the inner shin bone. Now, why I love these standing postures is because that left knee has so much more support by the ball. Beautiful. Hopefully you're encountering that. Just a couple breaths. And then from here, we're going to come all the way up to standing. Reach the arms long. Bend your left leg. I'm going to turn away from the camera, but I'm going to turn around. But you're bending your left knee and then turning your left foot in towards the right. So you're going to be working with a wide-legged forward fold preparation here. So both sets of toes are turning in. The arms reach out. Now, I would love for you to walk your feet in until you feel that you are squeezing that ball between your inner legs. Okay, beautiful. Take a deep breath in. And on our exhale, we're going to slowly bring our hips back. Let the torso come forward over the ball. Bring yourself about parallel to the ground. Take another inhale. And then on your exhale, let yourself fold all the way over the ball. Belly, ribs, chest. Grab your outer ankles and surrender the weight of your head. Another one of my favorites because, wow, all of the inner leg there, most of it is being securely pressed into the ball. So then from here, you can let your torso move a little bit. You can lift it forward and unfurl it onto the ball. You can move your body's weight a little bit from right to left. I often find in standing poses that there's a lot of weight that goes into the knees. So when we distribute the weight differently here with the ball, the knees, those precious knees, don't have to take all of it. You can feel our feet grounding us. Take a couple more breaths and forward fold. Opening up the sacroiliac joint. And then from here, bring your hands right underneath your shoulders. Press down through the hands, bring your shoulders back towards your waistline. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to heel toe my feet out so that the pelvic completely surrenders on the ball. So your legs are just going to naturally open up. And this is going to allow us to kind of get into that pelvic a little bit more. So I'm going to use the hands or the fingers and just move the body's weight fore and aft in this wide-legged forward fold. Your head again can be relaxed. And then bring your shoulders right over the wrist. Bring your left hand underneath the chest. And we're going to press into our feet. If you need to, walk your feet in a little closer. We're just going to rotate to the right side. Just reaching the right arm up to the sky, pressing down through all 5 fingers of your left hand. Deep breath in, and on exhale, lower the right hand, place it where the left is. So spread the hand out, inhale, and then on exhale, rotate to the left side. Arm lifts up just wherever it can. Deep breath in, and then exhale, lower that hand back down. And then just let your elbows bend. If the forearms can come closer to the floor, beautiful. They may or may not touch. Just let everything fold over the ball. Your whole front body. Let your chin drop towards your chest. So this next move is one of my favorites. It's called the frog jump. Are you ready? So we're going to push into our hands. They're right underneath our shoulders. Watch my legs. This is the frog jump. You can either bend the knees and bring your legs back like that, or with the legs long, you can just lift and bring them over. It's very exciting, the frog jump. That's how we transition to our legs coming back. And then we're just going to roll through the feet a few times. nice to have is, you know, the ball connected to us almost all the time throughout the whole practice. And then we're gonna, again, toes are tucked, we're gonna step into our feet, walk the hands back to the ball so that we're upright, and we're just gonna hang over the ball just like we did before for a couple breaths before we go to the other side. When you're ready, bring your hands to the front of the ball. Let's do a couple squats, bend the knees, push your ball forward with your hands. Just extending through the arms here, bending the knees, ankles, hips, and then lengthening the legs. And then heel toe your feet closer together. We're gonna do the other side. So the ball is right under your chest. Again, if the lines are there, they're vertical. The hands are about shoulders width apart. Slide your right leg back. No rush here. When you get up onto that big toe, we need the core to lift the leg. So I'm gonna take an inhale to the abdomen, and then exhale, flow to the right leg. And just bend and extend at that right knee a couple times. And then from here, I'm gonna bend into the left knee. I'm gonna round the spine. If you need to help your leg to come up, I'm gonna take my hand to my right shin bone or calf and put the foot right up on the ball and come to an upright position. Let your arms relax down. Hard enough as it is, right? And then we're gonna fold again, belly, ribs, chest over our right leg. I'm gonna bring my fingertips or hands to the ball, whatever can reach, and stretch the leg. And then fold belly, ribs, chest over the right leg. No goal again, just wherever your body can go. Beautiful. And then from there, we're gonna take the foot and come all the way forward. Bring the foot all the way down to the floor in front of the ball. And we're squaring the hips and shoulders forward. And then letting the pelvic floor just release heavily into the ball. And then from here, the sun breath. Inhale, lift the arms up above the head. And then a big exhale, lower the arms down. Inhale, lift, extend, and lengthen. And a big exhale to release. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, lift, lengthen, extend. Look up towards your fingers. And then exhale. And then from here, we're gonna fold over that front leg. Bring your left hand to the instep of that right foot. Again, you can have your hand on a block or your fist. And then extend the right arm forward. We're gonna revolve towards the right leg, reaching up towards the sky. The hand could also be resting on the hip. Couple deep, deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then take that right hand down. Now it's going to be to the inside of your right foot. Turn your left foot in 45 degrees, and we're going to extend that left arm forward, windmill into warrior two. So come back into warrior two, and then adjust your footing here so you feel that your right foot is pressing, your left foot's turned in, and your pelvic is settling into the ball. Relax your shoulders. So it's really about trusting the ball, letting your body sink and settle a little bit more. We're going to do our little round of fire breath here. Deep breath in and begin. Exhale and then deeply breathe in. Place your right forearm mid-right thigh. Getting ready for lateral side angle pose. The left arm can come either by the ear. You can circle it from the front of the mat to the back a couple times just to bring this left shoulder into a better position. And then again, the arm could stay by the ear. You could bring the hand to the hip, or you could wrap the hand like I'm doing here behind the back towards the lower right hip, and then open up that left shoulder and just breathe. And then from here, release your left arm all the way back up and over. We're gonna square off our right foot. So we're gonna face the right foot, both hands come down. Take a moment here. Maybe rock and roll a little bit from the front foot to the back foot. And then bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. We're gonna do that frog jump here with this right leg. So the right leg is gonna release around the ball. And then we can separate our hands. We can do a couple circles again, just shifting body's weight from left hand to right, right foot to left foot. Breath flowing in and out. And then let's take our little recovery. So untucking your toes, just let yourself completely fold into the ball, filling up all of your front body spaces. Chin falls towards the ball. Yep, just let yourself just completely melt. And then bring the hands to the front of the yoga ball. Sit your hips back towards your heels, coming back to child's pose. Stretch your ball forward, stretch your arms forward, and then just kind of rock from side to side. Breath flowing in and out. And then from here, the invitation is to lift your hips, like I'm showing here, pushing and scooting the ball forward, and then bring the hips towards the heels. All of this is about the connective tissue, making space, bringing in lubrication and circulation through this ability to be a little bit more mobile. And then from here again, rounding our spine, we're going to come all the way up to the high knees. Bring the ball right in contact with you. Fold over the ball just enough to tuck your toes under. We're going to shift our weight into the feet. So we're coming into a squat. Beautiful. And then lengthen your legs so that we're in that standing position. Rounding the spine, so it's like you're doing a flexion or a cat tuck. So round the spine, look towards your belly button, and pull the ball back towards you, back onto your shin bones as you slowly come all the way up. Let's take a big sun breath over the head, and then bring your hands right into prayer. Just take a moment here, just to breathe, just to feel your inner body sensations. What awarenesses do you have within? I'm feeling a lot different. I'm feeling lighter inside, more spacious, less tense. And then from here, we're going to have a seat. We're going to have a seat on the ball. You've heard this before. Get on the ball. And so once we sit down, it's a whole other world. So the first thing we're going to do is roll our feet. So if we can see my feet here. So just rolling through the feet, starting to feel the ground beneath the feet, and just this wonderful thing to do with your feet. And then keeping your feet nice and wide, so a nice wide foot stance. Start to let your hips, like they're on a hammock, go left and right. And I'm using my hands here to support me. You can bring them onto the side of the ball if you like, whatever feels right for you. And as the hips go over to the right side, bring your left hand down now. Let your right arm come up and over. I'm even going to bring my forearm of that left arm onto the ball. Nice side stretch. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up through the center. Take that right hand down. I'm going to shift the hips left. Take that left arm up and over. Nice deep breaths. Push off of that hand. Shift the hips back to the right. So we're just, everything is the same as yoga, but we have the ball underneath us. So we're getting this ability to move, hopefully with more ease. That's what we're looking for, is more ease of movement and new spaces, maybe that we haven't been able to get to before. A couple more, just feeling the stretch from the hip all the way through the underarm. And then let yourself come back to center. Let's take a moment. Bring your 4 fingers and thumbs together. Perhaps close your eyes down. Take deeper, fuller breaths into your abdomen. From here, we're going to do the Sufi grind. So bring your hands, palms facing down on your thighs, and we're just going to let the hips guide the ball. So imagine, and I've got this circular rug, so it might hopefully be helpful to see that this is just making a big circle, like you're touching the numbers of a Big Ben clock. And the thing is, with the ball, you can really explore different ranges of motion here. I'm using my feet for stability, for foundation, as well as the hands. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable to. If you feel like you need them, of course, use them. But you know, the whole thing about this practice is just feeling those subtle adjustments within. And then gently pause, go the other direction as we breathe, noticing as you switch the direction, if it feels more easeful, more comfortable, or if this is more of a challenge to go in this direction. It's all just information. This is definitely my more challenging direction for whatever reason. And you have to admit, it's a little bit fun. Playing on a ball can't be so bad, right? All right, and then come back to center and then really ground your feet about hips width apart or so, just like you're sitting in a chair. Matter of fact, let's take our palms up again, bring your forefingers and thumbs together. Let's see if you can just kind of feel your spine here for a couple breaths. Feel the alignment that we've taken. You know, the hips are on a ball, so they might float around a little bit. That's good. So what happens is, sitting in the chair, is that there's no mobility, right, in our pelvic or our lower back. But that's the difference with the ball, is we always have this sense of freedom, of little movements. And of course, everything begins at the feet. They're pressing down. The shin bones are straight up and down. The knees are extending in front of the hips. The earlobes are above the shoulders. The shoulders are aligned above the hips. And there's lots of space for the spine to extend upward. Now from here, we're going to do seated cat and cow. So bring your hands, palms facing down on your knees, and I'm going to turn to the side, because this is amazing, because the ball gives you so much more access to the spine. So my hands are pressing the knees, even gripping on, and we're just going to take our tailbone and just gently turn it back and then forward. So everything starts at the tail. So we let the tailbone move the ball, because it'll shift it forward and back. And then as we go along, more of the spine begins to move. So eventually we're moving into the lower back, the middle back, the shoulder line, the neck. Let's add in our dynamic exhale and our inhale through our nostrils. Big clearing exhale. Super good way to let go of tensions through the spine is that big clearing breath. And I'm using my hands to accentuate both the front opening as I pull with my knees and gently guide the heart upward. And as I pull away from the knees, this is giving me more access to my middle and upper back. Let's do about 10 more, finding the rhythm with the breath. Couple more. Now, as we lift the heart, walk your hands behind you and beneath your shoulders. Press the heels of the hands into the ball. Keep your sitting bones on the ball, but just lift the heart. This is like a seated camel pose on the ball. So the shoulder blades are snuggling towards one another. The chest is broad and open, the shoulders as well. The gaze is upward. We're deeply breathing here into the front of our body. And then from here, we're going to counter pose. So all we need to do is let the hands release They're going to come forward. We're going to shift the hips back. The legs are going to take some extension. You can just slide the hands down your legs, down your feet. Maybe even they stay on your feet, and just let the weight of your head release. This is like a modified forward fold, another one of my faves here, because I feel so much release in the spine. Beautiful. Pushing away from your feet or legs. Inhale, get a little half lift. Lift your heart, extend your spine. And then let your knees bend, everything releases. Exhale, lower. Completely surrender your head's weight. And then again, inhale, look forward, lengthen through your spine. Now this time, if you want to try, flip your toes up and see if you can grab your toes very lovingly, if that's available. Draw the toes towards your body. Draw the shoulders back towards your waistline. Hello, hamstrings. Couple deep, deep breaths. And then when you're ready, press your feet down, bend your knees, bend your elbows, let your torso once again hinge and fold, maybe between the legs. Maybe your forehead can come a little closer to the ball. Feel all of the space in your back body. This is a really big opening for the spine. And then inhale, gazing forward. Bend your knees, float them above your ankles. Bring one hand to the thigh and then the other. Engage your belly button to support the back as we slowly come up to a nice, tall, yet relaxed seated position. We're definitely going to take a couple deep breaths to recover, let the blood pressure re-regulate itself. So just take a deep breath into the body, and as you exhale, let everything melt. Let the shoulders melt, the belly, the hips into the ball. For me, just sitting on the ball like this just feels sort of like home, like, you know, there's all this ability to just let the ball support you. Now from here, we're going to heel toe our feet in a little closer. I'm going to bring my hands to the ball for a moment, bring the shoulders down, and just stretch your left leg out. Give it a little flex, and then bend the knee. Just a few of these, just extend and bend. And we're definitely going to work our core a little bit here as we lift that leg. And then as you bend it, see if you can bring your hands to the hamstring belly, interlaced around. Bring your shoulders down. Let's just take care of our little ankle here. Drop the weight of the foot towards the floor. See if you can drop your hamstring firmly into your hand so you're not using your hip flexor here. And then go the other direction, couple circles. And then we're going to attempt to cross the leg over, and I'm going to use my hands and pull the leg in a little bit. And then we just squeeze the legs together. We're going to bring our hands to our front shin bone, drop the shoulders. Just sitting here for a couple breaths before we move forward. Feel your shoulders exhaling towards the ball. And the ball will move, and sometimes, you know, sometimes the leg wants to come back out to catch it. That's all good. So then I'm going to take my foot into my right hand. I'm going to see if I can bring myself into a figure four stretch. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to hold and support the ankle. I'm going to take my right hand and just stir the foot around the ankle. Beautiful. And then the other direction, it's like hard enough to get the leg up there and stay, right? I hear ya. And then just let yourself stay here in figure four. Maybe bring your forearm to the inner shin and just hinge over. I'm going to weave my right fingers through the left toes. I'm going to do interdigitation here, because why not? Obviously, we count on these feet a lot in this practice, not as much as we count on the ball. In our regular yoga practice, definitely more of the feet, but we can take care of the feet during the practice as well. And just another deep breath or two. Noticing if there's any restrictions in your hip or your knee. find your breath and send the breath to those spaces just by inhaling and thinking about that area. Sends that oxygen there. And then we're going to release, and I'm going to take my hands interlaced around the knee, lift the leg, give it a little swishy shake that we did before in another practice, a little circle. Now just let the foot float down to the floor. As soon as it touches down, I'm going to close my eyes or look downward. I'm going to notice that left leg. I'm just going to take a moment or two to notice the foot, the lower leg, the upper leg, the knee. And while we're here, I'm going to bring my hands back to my legs and just roll out the feet a few more times. Then grounding down through the feet, maybe heel toe your feet a little closer. And we're now going to take our hands beneath the right hamstring, interlace. I'm going to inhale and then exhale, lift the foot. Shoulders are down. Elbows are held closely to the ribs. We're going to take care of our ankle, just circling the foot around the ankle. And then reversing. Yep, and then reaching that leg out, pushing through the heel, and then release. Just a few of these. And then extend it and bring it right over your left leg. And then use your hands, pull everything in nice and tight. Beautiful. And just hanging out here. And I'm holding on to the shin because what I'm trying to do is get the thigh bone to come towards the torso a little bit so I can stretch the outer hip, the outer right glute area as well, just by giving this little gentle squeeze as we breathe. Melting the shoulders down if they want to lift up. I know mine do. So I have to keep reminding them it's okay to relax shoulders. And then from here, take your left hand to your right foot, supporting the knee. We're going to put the leg over into the figure 4 stretch. I'm going to take my right hand to my right ankle to support it so that I can actually guide the right foot a little bit easier around the ankle. And then reversing. And then I'm going to interdigitize the fingers if you have access to that here. Do that. And then we're going to take our form to the inner right shin bone. So the right form, and just place it there. You can hinge forward a little bit. And just take a couple more breaths. Noticing if there's some restriction in the hip or the knee, the spine. Maybe the jaw could relax a little bit, separating the lower row of teeth from upper row. Move that jaw around a little bit. And then we're going to slowly come out of this. So I'm going to take the hands interlaced around the right knee, lift the leg, give it a little swish, a little circle, and then just float that right foot right on down to the floor. Let's take our pause, because I always am so amazed, when we do pause, it's like, wow, I feel so much different in that leg now. Now both legs feel, for me, a little more balanced. Now from here, we're going to walk our legs out wider. So it's almost going to be like a wide-legged forward fold. But as you bring your legs wider, I've got my heels super pressing to the ball. So the ball's not going to go anywhere, okay? So yeah, just kind of move around a little bit. Maybe some circles around the lower part of the body. additional help for that taut inner leg. And then let's take our left forearm, mid-left thigh, push away. Take the right hand to the shoulder and just reach that right elbow up towards the sky as you push away from your left forearm, stamping the right heel of the foot into the floor. I think we did this in our chair yoga practice. Push away from that forearm. We're going to just drop the right forearm to the thigh, and then bring your left hand to your shoulder and just extend the elbow up towards the sky, taking in a couple breaths. Slowly come up, let that left arm release back to the leg. Take another breath or two. See if you can find your buttocks muscles and unclench them here. Unclenching the glutes. And then bring your hands to the front of the ball. You're just going to start to slide the hands down the ball. Now, if it's available, you could actually slide your hands underneath your legs and give your ball a big hug and pull yourself closer. But if that's too much, you can just bring your hands down to the floor, or they could even remain on the ball. Key here is, again, allowing yourself to let go. This is called the crab. So just like little crabs kind of walk sideways across the beach, just trying to let your torso go a little left and right. A little adjustment of body's weight from one foot to the other. You can even move the weight towards the back of the ball, little circles. Deepening your breathing. And then when you're ready to come out of it, if your arms are underneath the legs, release them at this time. Bring your hands back to the front of the yoga ball, and it's going to help you as you push down into the ball to lift your torso. Just walking your hands up through the ball, and then bring your hands to your knees. We're just going to walk our feet a little closer, maybe a couple more circles. Whew. Now from here, I'm going to see if I can stand. And just take a little shake of the body, just a whole body shake. Just let everything move around a little bit. But then come to stillness. I'm going to welcome you to bring your right hand to your abdomen and your left hand to your heart. Soften in through the belly. And just notice your body right now, the inside, your inner experience. Why I love the ball is because I do feel so much more spacious than I did when I began. I feel lighter somehow. Definitely feel like I've been stretching the inner legs. That's clear. And so from here, we're going to come down to a seated position. So I always love to use the ball. Sometimes I just hang on it, just lean into it to come down. We're going to come down and see if we can bring the ball behind us. Now here's the thing. If I just lean in, the ball's going to go backwards. So what you kind of have to do is lift the shirt, and then hopefully the ball stays, just like that. So if you can see, I have a nice line in the spine, hopefully. So this is correcting the spine without a lot of force. Mary, can you bring forward a little bit? I don't know if you can or not. Do you have your shirt up? Because it does stick to the skin. It won't stick to the shirt. Okay, that's great. Now flex your toes. Bring your hands alongside your hips. We're going to just work with staff pose here. Bring your shoulders down, and as you do so, you're going to feel the heels of your hands trying to press into the floor. Now we're just hanging out here so we can let our spine feel the support that is behind it. Deeply breathe in. And on your exhale, feel the heels of your hands searching for the floor a little bit more. Now, I think this is a good thing to do. Let's say you're watching a program or something, you're just doing something at home, you want to sit on the couch, you could come down here and feel all the support of the ball behind your back. Now from here, we're going to let the upper back release into the ball and bring your head down. This is where I hope the ball is big enough, because we want to be able to keep our head supported. Now from here, the invitation is to let your ball move left and right. So you're just rocking a bit left and rocking a bit right. Feel all of this opening across your chest, your shoulders. And then from here, I'm going to bring my hands behind the head. You can either rest them on your head, or what I like to do is hold my wrists. So I like to find a bind. Left hand on right wrist, right hand on left wrist. The hands are just hanging out there behind the head. And this accentuates the opening of the shoulders and the upper chest. That looks beautiful. We're just breathing, just hanging out here for a few more cycles of breath. So this is a counter pose to the way we live in our body pretty much all day long for most of us, without forcing a back bend, right? So we're starting to trust the ball to fill in all the spaces of our spine. Now from here, I'm just going to release the arms alongside. I'm not even going to lift the head. I'm just going to make big circles. I'm going to bring the hands over the head. Maybe they touch in namaste, and then when they get behind the head, they separate, and we just make these big, wide circles. Super slow, super mindful. Breathing in and out. And then take a pause when the fingers touch down, and then reverse. Maybe reach behind you first. Maybe bring your hands into namaste, and then extend your arms all the way in front of you, all the way to your lap, and then a few more circles in this direction. And then let your hands meet the floor. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be laying all the way over the ball, okay? So I'm going to make sure the back of my head is on the ball, because we don't want to have the head lifted. We want to have the top of our head on the ball. I'm going to bend the knees, put the feet flat on the floor. The back is already connected, so we're already ready for it. Push away from your feet. I'm just going to let the arms hang heavily, and just kind of gingerly work your back onto the ball. You can push through your feet. You can find extension through the legs. But then we're going to bend the knees without lifting the head. You might have to look at me, but hopefully I can explain it. We're just going to make those big circles. So as I extend the legs, the arms are behind, and as we bend our knees, the arms cross in front of us. So we're just taking this ball and we're stretching every part of the body from the toes to the fingers. And again, the head does not have to lift. As a matter of fact, it's really important that it stays connected so that the neck is safe. Let's do a couple more. And again, working on our lower body joints, right? Our ankles, knees, hips. And then if you want to just hang out just for a couple breaths in stillness, please do so. Feel the whole front body opening, but of course the back body is as well. Beautiful. I call this dessert. We're having our dessert early, like I usually do with my dessert anyway. Now from here, I am going to invite you to lift your head and lift your shoulders. So now the head is above the neck. Bring your hands in front of your chest. I call this Charlie's Angels. So your arms are in front of you. You've got steeple mudra. Your forefinger is pressing together. Your thumbs are crossed. And we're just going to go across the ball with our upper back. So I'm turning all the way from one side. You can see why this is called Charlie's Angels, right? And all the way to the other side. Getting this wonderful torso rotation with the support of the ball. And then this next exercise is called Around the World. So I'm going to take these arms with the bound steeple mudra hands and go all the way around the back of the head to the center of the legs, and then go the other way. So then the arms reach all the way to the side, all the way beyond your head, and all the way back to the center. So I used to make a joke and say, you know, we love the Berkshires, right? So we go all the way around the world, but then the Berkshires brings you right back. Go all the way around. But you guys don't all live in the Berkshires, but you'll be back. That's what happens. So big circles. And then from here, release your upper back. So your feet are pressing, your hips are actually off the floor, your spine is relaxing. We're just doing a little recovery. Now, I'm not going to, because you're not in front of me, so I'm not going to recommend this, but I'm going to show you what's possible. So if you want to take a look at me, you can. So I gave up headstand a long time ago. So what I do with the ball is, now that my spine is nice and warmed up, I bring my head down and I just lift my legs. And again, you don't have to do this, but this is so effortless. There's no pressure on my neck whatsoever. I can even come into a plow. I can even flip off the ball, but these are just, you know, eventual things that we can do. You could, if you wanted to, from this position, you could extend one leg, you know, and work with that. You could try that. Or not. Mary has seen me do this funny stuff at work. All right. Yeah, so it's just, there's just endless things. But for now, what we're going to do, everybody, is we're going to reach the arms out to the side. Now, bring your hands in front of you like you have a big platter of something delicious. You don't want it to fall off your hands. We're not going to use our hands. We're going to use our core to walk the feet towards the ball. Now, if you absolutely need your hands, of course, use them. But we try to use the core to bring us back up, because this will strengthen the core muscles. Beautiful. And then relax your hands. Take a moment or two to deeply breathe. That was a lot of opening. Whew. Notice what you feel. Maybe move around a little bit. And now the really good news is we're going to be coming down to the floor using the ball. So I'm going to, again, try not to use my hands, just use the legs to lift up off the ball. And we're going to come down onto our seats with our ball. And we're going to put the ball right in front of the chest. I'm going to start with bent knees. If you have a yoga mat beneath you, I'm all the way forward. Make sure that there's nothing behind you, because you're going to be taking the ball all the way back behind you. I'm going to scoot forward. Now I'm going to squeeze the ball. So squeeze it between your hands, push into your feet, and carefully lower down. Bring your ball right over your knees, and so it stays in contact with you all the way down. And when your head is down, beautiful, leave your ball on your abdomen. I'm going to bring my hands to the front of the ball and tuck my elbows in. Now what we're going to do here is just notice breath, okay? So as our back starts to get used to now being on the floor, take a deep breath into your belly and notice the ball lifts, and then, and I've actually took my hands away from the ball, but notice the ball lifting on your inhale and lowering. So the ball is completely settling into your abdomen. Doing that a couple more times. In a regular practice, I often have people put a block on the belly or a cushion to remind us to breathe into the belly. But we're also nourishing our lumbar spine as we do this. Let's do one or two more breaths. Giving our spine time to adjust itself to the floor. Now from here, we're going to open the knees and roll the ball to the floor, and we're going to put our legs right on top. And this you might really like. Good. And then, so then the arms are coming out to a T, and I'm just going to have you get really comfortable with the ball underneath your legs. You can drift like you are from left to right. Now we're going to do a nice hip opener from here. Step your feet to the front of the ball. Just push them right into the front of the ball. So you're going to use your whole foot. So the foot is actually on the ball in front of you. If you can see me, my knees are towards my chest, palms pressing the floor. I'm just going to stretch the legs out. I'm pushing with the feet. Beautiful. And then we're just going to start with pulling the ball back into our chest. Just this. Just using your feet to push. And at the end of that extension, see if you can flex the toes. That's beautiful, Mary. And then bring your knees back in. And then adding the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now as the knees come in, open your knees almost like a Supta Baddha Konasana. Beautiful. Now stretch your legs out straight right from where you are. The legs will eventually come back together. The knees will come back together, and then pull the ball back towards you just like we did originally. So we just added a move. So when the knees come in, the knees then splay out, soles of feet open towards each other, the legs extend, and then we pull the knees back. So this is an external opening for the hips. And I'm using my feet to really stretch areas of the lower back. Good. Now the next time the legs are all the way out in front of you, pause, dig your heels into the ball, and then we're going to reverse. So we're going to open the knees from here, let them start to splay, and bring the knees towards your outer shoulders as you pull the ball back, and then close your knees, and then stretch the legs out straight. When they're straight, start to bend the knees from that extended position so the knees start to angle towards the shoulders. That's beautiful. And then bring the knees in. So we're just reversing it. Let's do 2 more here. Inhaling and exhaling. Now the next time the legs are straight out, make sure that the ball is underneath your heels, maybe even the back of your ankles. This is the jackknife. So I'm going to press my palms to the floor flat and just let the legs lengthened go from left to right. So this is going to move more of your body here, more of the trunk, more of the hips. Breathing in and out. Beautiful. Coming back to center, bend your knees. You can walk your ball back towards you with your feet. Bring your legs draped over the ball, just like we did in the beginning. Just take a few moments here, breathing in and out. Hopefully the legs just kind of stay where they are. They don't slide off. But if that were ever to happen, you could just cross one ankle. I don't cross my ankles because I don't want to cut off energy unless the legs are slipping off. Then I absolutely will cross the ankles. And from here, do a little bit of a rocking from side to side. Now come to the center. I'm going to bend my knees, push the ball just a little bit, bend the right knee, bring your hands to your right shin bone and give yourself a big hug, your thigh bone towards your chest. Flex your left heel of foot. So the ball is pretty much underneath your left calf. Good. And then from here, reach your right leg up to the sky. Transfer your hands to your hamstring on that right side. Point and flex your foot a couple times. Roll the foot around the ankle a few times in one direction. So that right foot around the ankle and then the other way. Now I'm going to keep my right hand either on the upper outer thigh, the outer shin, ankle, or if you can grab your foot with your right hand, we're just going to open the right leg out to the right side. And then I'm going to release the left arm out from the left shoulder. The left hip is squaring and facing the ceiling. The left foot is very flexed. Beautiful. And then inhale, lift your right leg back to 90 degrees. Now I'm going to take my left hand, weave it underneath the right, hold the outer shin of that right leg, release the right arm, pulling the leg back towards the torso just a little, and then just crossing the midline over towards the left shoulder. You can play with this. You can kind of come back towards the right hip and rock a few times, a little bit further to the left if you'd like, trying to keep our right shoulder relaxed on the floor. And then I'm going to come back to center, transfer the left hand behind the calf. Now I'm going to lift the forehead and take the right hands and slide the back line of the right leg. Give it lots of love. For the new year ahead, And then lower the torso, bend your left leg so you're drawing the ball back toward you, so that when you release your right leg as you are now, let it unfold itself over the ball. Let your left leg release as well. Perfect. And just recover. Take a few deeper breaths. So we'll do the other side. So we'll just push the ball away just a little bit so the right leg takes length. Bend your left leg. Hold your shin bone of your left leg. Pull the thigh bone in towards your torso. Couple deep breaths here. And then bring the hands behind the left hamstring, so transfer them there. Extend your left leg to the sky. I'm still holding on to the hamstring. Rotate the foot around the ankle a few times here on this left side. Breathing in and out, and then the other way. Nice. Now I'm going to take my left hand, either hold the upper outer thigh, the outer shin, the ankle, or the foot. Deep breath. And then exhale the left leg out to the left side. Again, the right hip stays square to the ceiling. The right arm can release at this time, keeping the back of the right shoulder pressing. Just take a deep breath or two here. Inhale that left leg back up to 90 degrees. Now weave your right arm under and through your left arm. Grab the outer shin, ankle, whatever you can grab onto, and pull the leg a little bit closer towards you and across the midline. Reach your left arm off to the left side. And then again, we can work with kind of rocking a little deeper over towards the outside of the right hip and coming back a few times. Again, that's why I love the ball, because it just offers you this ability to get into little movements that you can't normally without the support of the ball. Come back to the center. I'm going to take my right hand behind the calf. I'm going to gently pull the leg closer and take the left hand and sweep the back line of your left leg up and down several times. And lower the torso, bend the right knee. We're going to lower the left leg. So as I bend the right knee, the ball comes back towards me. Lower your left leg and then unfurl your right leg. And then just let go of the arms and shoulders. Take a few deep breaths. And as always, we want to notice how this feels now after the movement. If there's any energetic releases, any sensations or vibrations. And then from here, take your feet around the ball, and I'm actually going to turn this way. Take it up to the sky. I'm upside down here. Good. And so the ball is right between your feet. Hands press out to the sides below your shoulders level. We're just going to do a little metronome. We're just going to take our legs left and right. Feeling the sacrum being massaged against the floor. Now come to the center, rotate until the right leg is in front of you. This is called the steering wheel. So now my right leg is in front of me and the left leg is right behind the right leg. And then just turn the ball center, and now the left leg will come in front of the right. You can see here. It's like you're steering, and then steer back to the center, steer left, the right leg will come in front. Flex the right foot on this one. Steering back to the center one more time to the right, left leg will come in front of your torso, flex your left toes. And then back to center, grab the ball, bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet flat to the floor, and let the ball come back onto your belly. Bring your hands to the sides of the ball, and then you're gonna push the ball onto your shin bone. So you're gonna lift the legs, and I'm just resting the ball on the shins. So I'm going to turn to the side in case you can see, you need to see a little bit more here. So see what I'm doing here? I've got my ankles and knees in alignment. This is a core exercise. So you can take your knees and the ball a little bit farther away from your core, and then you could bring the knees back above the hips. We don't want to bring the knees too farther than the hips, because we don't want to cramp the hips or the hip flexors. So now, as you can see, I'm going out a little bit more. The further you get from the center of the body, the more challenging. Good. This is just a play around. Sometimes the ball falls or rolls. It's all good. Keeping your lower back pressing, feeling the tummy muscles there. Beautiful. Now just take the ball with your hands, put it underneath your legs, extend your legs on top. And again, let's just do the jackknife. Just let the ball roll from left to right. Notice if you feel your tummy was worked a little bit here. And then I'm gonna pull the ball so it's flush underneath the knees and the calves. Now this is where, if you feel like it's effort to stay, if your legs start to slide, definitely cross the ankles, because we're going into our Shavasana. Opening up the arms into a wide T, and then cross one arm over your chest and then the other, reaching around for the back of your shoulders. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift your head, shoulders off the floor, and just do that little rocking between your shoulder blade wings. Just a few, side to side, up and down the upper back a couple times. And then lower the torso, allow your arms to stay just as they are, but hands can unclasp from the shoulders. Feeling the weight of your arms dissolving into your chest. Now notice which arm is on top. Mine is my right, but notice which arm. You're going to unfurl the arms back into a T, and then recross so that the other arm is on top. I don't always have time to do that in a regular class, but just so we have that evenness. And then just let your arms melt for another breath or two. When you're ready, just let the arms dissolve off to the floor, coming into our PranaBall Shavasana. Very similar to Viparita Karani, the modified legs up the wall pose, the restorative pose that redirects the blood flow, the circulation from our feet all the way to our head. It's like a refreshing pose for all of our organs. Taking a load off of the spine here. Draining any tension we might have in our lower legs, our lower body. Eyes, cheeks, forehead, jaw, all relaxed, soft. So let your body begin to move a little bit with the ball beneath your legs. Begin to deepen your breathing. And then I'm going to bend the knees, which I welcome you to do as well. Put your feet to the front of the ball. Give it a nice push out a couple times. Bend your knees, bring the knees back in. And as the knees come back in, bring your hands to your shin bones and just use your little toes to pull the ball really close to the back of your glutes and legs. Give yourself a little hug. Maybe rock a bit from side to side. And then from here, extending one arm and just roll all the way over. And as I roll over, I'm going to end up with the head on that arm and just let the feet drop off the ball. Just let them slide in the side lying position, safe and sound. Feeling the knees, the hips, the ankles resting into one another. The abdomen soft, relaxed. And then when you feel ready, look down towards the floor. Take that top hand, push down into the floor with it. Stretch your top leg out. Use your other hand to bring you all the way up to seated. And then I'm going to take the ball, bring it in front, come up to the ball, lean into it, tuck the toes. So this is the easiest way for me to come off the floor using the ball. So pushing into the ball, we roll into our heels. Push weight into the ball with your hands. Lengthen the legs. Navel to spine round all the way up. Pull the ball back towards your legs. Take a big, big sun breath over your head. And then bring your hands home to the heart. And then I'm going to invite you to straddle the ball and come to a seat, if you would. Sorry about all my music stuff today. Let's see here. So I'm going to unmute you all. Or ask you to unmute. Okay. Yay. All right. Let me get me off my, let's see, everybody here. Awesome. Are we all sitting on the ball?
Yep.
Good. What do you think? I saw some people leave and I was like, wow, okay. But then something happened where you guys came back.
I lost power.
You did?
Oh no.
And then it came back. That was great. I was glad it came back.
Yeah, I was like, what happened there? It was just like me and Mary and and Linda lost power too. Do you guys live close together?
I don't know. Linda, I'm in west of Boston.
Me too.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I don't know how to get my I'm on my phone now.
Okay. Oh my gosh. All that happened.
It's been on,
Wow.
but I have to set the network again. So the Wi-Fi again. So it was too much effort. So I just went to the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was,
Well,
I loved
I'm
it.
glad you made it back.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this really sucks.
No,
they hated it.
no, not
I was like, oh, well, what are you going to do?
No, this is
You
the best
never
one
know
yet.
what's going on.
Yeah, you never know a tech.
Yeah. All right. Well, I would love to hear anything you'd like to share about that very strange but beautiful practice. I call it strange, but I don't believe it's strange. I've been doing it for so long, and I love it so much. And actually at Kripalu, they bought a bunch of balls for me years and years ago, and I used to teach it in the forest room because I just love it so much. I want to give it to everybody. What did you guys think about it?
I thought I was surprisingly hard to balance. For
Me too. Me too.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Yeah, like I don't always include the stand. I mean, that was like tiny bit of the standing that I usually do. But just to give you a sense that you can do standing poses, you can do more challenging things like, the warriors. And now, like, I think one of you, the ball's a little small. So if the ball's too small, boy, that makes it challenging because when I put my body on the ball, I want to be able to sink in. I don't want to be up here. I want to be here so that we can let all this go, right? And you can
Right.
energize that. So that's the difference. It's getting the ball full enough to support the standing poses. But it's, balance. I mean, it is what it is, and that's why it's good to try these things out. But my favorite things are the letting go on the ball, the feeling of melting and, giving the big hug, because my goodness, like we need all of that, right? We're holding ourselves up all the time and, in our jobs, right? And things that we do all day long. So this gives a sense of, being held,
I feel really good now.
What's that?
I feel really good now.
Well, that's good. That's yay. That's what we're looking for. I know it's like during any yoga practice, sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, this is awful. But then once we come back, we start to feel like, oh yeah, like especially when you start to move again, you're going to start to notice more, of maybe more range of motion, less tension, sort of thing.
Right. I found I could really, when we did the arm rolls on our back, I felt I could really let go of my shoulders much more with the ball underneath me. A lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, like we get this range of motion because we do have the support of the ball. I love the shoulder openings on the ball, like just sitting on the floor like that and bringing the arms back. That's one of my favorite things to do. Like if you have a ball, which you all do now, you could just do that on the floor. You don't have to do, a bunch of fancy things, but that in and of itself is just like, oh yeah, after doing this all day, all the things that we do all day, you can reverse that. Yeah. Christy's still rocking and rolling. I love it.
This is the best one yet for me because I have a broken L3 and I broke my pelvis in 3 places and it's all out of kilter. So my lower back is a disaster. And this was like the first time I've ever opened it like this in all these years. And I did that 23 years ago. So this has been like, this is like life-changing for me. I'm so glad you made us get these balls. It's going to make a lot of difference for me.
I love that, Christy. I love that worked for you. I'm a mess too. I mean, I have lots and lots and lots of spinal stuff besides the hip replacement. And I love chair yoga. I think chair yoga and some like the forward folds and things like that, I get into that space there. But the ball, like when you do the frog over the ball, man, I mean, it's creating all of that support so we can finally get some space in there. But we can't get space by force. We have to surrender to get the space. Like it's like when something happens, we have tension, right? We hold our breath, we hold on because we're trying to protect ourselves. But when you start to let go deeper and deeper into the ball, you might find that there's just, I mean, I feel like tons of little releases and things like that throughout the whole thing. So I'm so glad because that's really where I feel the same way you do about it. And it's fun too. And it just gives you this sense of like movability and fluidity, that I don't, like when I do child's pose, I love child's pose, but when you do child's pose with this, you can move, you can adjust, you can, access more of the rotation, with the ball under your hands. So yay on that one.
Yeah, totally.
I'm so good to see you, Linda. You did it.
Now I can see all of you. I figured I figured it out. You swipe to get the gallery on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
we're learning this stuff, aren't we?
oh, yeah. The ball, it's sort of like being in water, but like the guarding, like some, and but then like restorative too, because like often in yoga, I don't do a lot of yoga, but now maybe I will be, right? Some poses hurt other parts of the body that you're not working on, right? And now you can
Bingo.
yeah, and you can give it up to the ball.
Oh my gosh. Well
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, like the
Yep.
card on, and you can just, yeah, it's like a good friend, like just like, yeah,
I know. It's like I used to say this to classes that I taught for years. I was like, have you hugged your ball today? Even just the hug, just the hug of the ball. It's like, I don't know. I don't get enough hugs, which is why I always have us do this. But like this gives like, it's like you're hugging a big being, and getting a full hug back, giving a hug, getting one, and then opening up all of that back body, and then getting into the digestion. And often I'll tell people when we start to do the rolling with the ball under our belly, you will get rid of some old stuff. You might have good eliminations later because it does move stuff around, and yay for that.
yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. And it's so weird because I just remembered like when we're ending with a hug, this morning I woke up in that position.
Oh, wow.
I woke up in like a self hug. It's just so strange. It's like an overlap. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that was kind of weird. Yeah.
That's really well, yourself was trying to give yourself love, right? I teach a lot of seniors, and I always have them do this. And the one lady, she said, I was at the grocery store and I was standing there like in line doing that. I was like, well, that's great. Like these things start to become more integrated into our psyche. It's not even like we're trying to do it. It just becomes more natural for us to go inward. And that's what I think all that is about, is just keep going inward, tuning into our own body, loving our own bodies. So anybody else want to share before I give you the prompts? How was I on the big screen, Mary?
Great. Let me get my notes.
Perfect.
I'm going to say bye and thank you and get
Okay.
I have
Thank
to
you,
go.
Linda. And the prompts will be on the Facebook group, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey, everybody.
Bye.
New Year.
Bye.
Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Bye. All right. So the first one is, and it's kind of, we're getting past this time, but it's, how are you feeling at this moment on a scale of 1 to 10?
And 10 is great.
Yes, yes. 10 is like feeling amazing. This is just for you to notice, to be aware of. And then after that, what are 3 things that really worked for you that you can remember? Like, what are 3 moves, or the way you put your body on the ball, or a transition or something like that, a position? And then were there any resistances? What were they? Like, it could be a mental thing. It could be like, this is weird. I mean, it could be anything. It could be a physical resistance that you felt in a certain pose, the resistance of breathing. And I think I might have said something like this last week, like sometimes our resistances are some of the best catalysts for change. Like if I'm resistant to, hearing my own breath, it could be something about that. It could be something about holding back my life, or, holding back the ability to flow. If it's a resistance in the back, back is all about support. And do you feel supported in your life? And if you don't, then, you know, I don't always feel supported. Maybe that's why I have a lot of back problems. I don't know. But, you know, those are just things like for me, when I notice a resistance coming up, no matter if it's in my thought process or in my body, I notice those and I'm using those in my life to get to know me, my inner workings, you know. I had a big class yesterday at Kripalu, a big yoga dance class, and it went really well. But I said this in the beginning, I'm like, because you know, I see and I feel the resistances from people doing certain things like walking through the center of the room, you know, being seen in the middle. And I go, you know, as resistances come up for you, those are for you. Those are for you to just embrace and, you know, be kind to, but be aware of, so that we can move past these resistances if we so choose to. And then lastly, what was your favorite move of the class? And with that favorite move of the class, could you see yourself doing this favorite move as a health appointment? And then something that has nothing to do with this, really, I wonder if you guys, because I'm in the process of doing this myself. I'm writing a love letter to 2022. I'm writing a love letter, dear 2022. I thank you for the ways that you taught me, or the things that I learned about myself, my strength, my courage. You know, the whole array of what 2022 offered all of us was a lot. And again, it goes back to like some things, maybe the challenges and the highlights were not so different from one another in certain ways, you know, like a challenge, but brought me into a stronger, more courageous place within myself. So that's just an invitation for you for the ending of this year and the beginning, a new year, to write that love letter so that we can usher this year out and bring an open heart to the new year in front of us, which is tomorrow. Very exciting. And very try to remember. That's a beautiful journal you have there, Christy.
Oh, thank you. It was a gift.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to remember to write 2023 from now on, right? That's the hardest part for me. Does anybody want to share anything that you wrote down, or you have any thoughts that you'd like to offer the group?
I used to use a yoga ball a long time ago. I can't even remember. I was a lot younger. And it's interesting to me how my favorite moves have changed since I've aged. Like, I used to love hanging over the front of the ball when I was younger. Now I like the opposite. Now I like hanging with my back on the ball, with my front open, and the shoulder rolls were way more important to me this time.
Wow.
My body has changed.
Yeah. Yep. Well, they're both good moves. So either way, either way, you're getting, again, what affects one side of the body is affecting both. So you're still opening up the front of the back of your body by opening the front of the body. But that's, you know, yeah, that's really kind of cool to notice that thing like that you loved before has now shifted into something else wonderful. I love that position too. It's, to me, it's like full exposure, you know, full access to everything. Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite move, was the falling back and just opening up completely.
Me too.
Because forward, I don't know why, there's like this pressure with gravity on my face, and it's just some kind of discomfort that I don't get it in the opposite direction. So it was
That
nice.
makes sense. I know
Yeah.
sometimes it can be kind of, and I was trying not to let my head go as much as it really needed to, but yeah, because of these things. But yeah, I totally feel that too. I just really love hugging. I love the hugging part of it,
Mhm.
because I don't have a big thing to hug. I hug the tree every day. I hug my little dog. I hug this. But to feel this physical big thing,
Yeah.
that makes me feel like safe in a way, I guess. I feel safe. Yeah. What do you think, Christy? What was your favorite thing?
Same, the laying on my back. I mean, honestly, the front was great too, because it kind of opened up this part of my back that's always really super tight. So that was wonderful. Of course, it's a lot in your abdomen.
Yep.
But it's good. I know it's good. But the laying on my back thing, I agree with Mary. Yeah, and it was amazing actually to feel my back open up for the first time, and I don't know like that how long.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. And
Good way to
again,
end the year for me.
what's
you know,
that? Good way
it
to
was a
end the
good
year.
way. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yay. Well, there's a lot more to that practice. But that was enough. Um, yeah, like you can do the best cat bow push-ups off this thing. You can do a lot more things, a lot more standing poses and things like that, and getting into more challenging things. But for me, I think the point of me sharing was so that people would feel the support of the ball. So you could feel like, yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things is to lay down and put the legs over top and just do like the jackknife. I love how that feels, where the spine is supported, but the body is able to flow and release some of that tension. And that's the way the spine needs to move anyway. So when you have the feet on the ball, the spine will start to let go even more into that natural flowing movement. Well, anything else we want to share from our list?
The 1 foot up on the ball and the other one down, that I was like, I'm glad I'm off camera because I'm very spastic right now. It was very hard to keep my balance, and yeah, that was definitely a tough one for me, but just as an example of I gotta work on my balance. So yeah.
Oh, whenever I was falling, I couldn't keep my leg up. It was. I'm sure I looked ridiculous. I didn't.
No, I didn't see, but the thing is like I've seen people. I had this class. Do you know where Zanti is, Mary? In Lenox, it's called Zanti Yoga Studio. I had a group that was working with me, older women, for I don't know 2 years, and by the end of it, these women could have taught it themselves. Like they'd flop that foot up there, and they do the in and out with the leg, and they'd roll over into the Warrior One, and all these things. So it's really just about learning how to adjust the body on the ball, and then at some point, like this is like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, but yeah, it's good to have those challenging moments to see that this ball can do a lot for us. We can work all the different aspects. We can work flexibility, we can work strength. We can do a lot of Pilates with the ball. I did a little tiny bit with the ball on the shin, just a little core work right there, which I think is really fun to do. Just kind of lay the ball on the shins and just work with your tummy muscles a little bit. And that's going to keep our back stronger and healthier too. But yeah, the standing poses are different. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Thank you
a
very
new
much.
year. Yay. And I'll put these on the Facebook page. I have to go to work in a little while, try to get the video done as soon as possible, but I have to go to Kripalu and then work all through the evening. And tomorrow's like top full from morning till night. So if I don't get the video out by tomorrow, it'll definitely be the next day, but it will be coming.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you. And I look forward to our next week, which is Kundalini Yoga, which is not easy, not even a little bit. However, it moves energy, and it is a practice that I feel such release inside of the body. And it, we'll be doing mantra and mudra, and I have it's called the women's set. I already have that picked out. So yeah, I hope that you come for that and just see what that's all about.
We don't need the ball for next week, right? Because I'm
No, you
traveling.
don't, but keep the ball handy.
Oh, I will, but I'm traveling for next one, so I won't bring it.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Very good.
Hey,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thanks,
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
Happy
Happy
New
New Year.
Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.